Peace be upon you. How many times you have been asking yourself how internet is working? What is architecture which used to architect all that internet which we are using it? How come when I'm using such application or when I'm pressing, clicking any kind of buttons, I got some response, I can see image, I can see files, I can log in, I can log out, and a lot of such questions it could be running in the background of your mind, and you would like to know and to reveal the secrets of internet or network architecture, or you are already working in that field but you would like to refresh your knowledge. So I'm pretty sure that this presentation could help you a lot. So my name Ahmed Sami, I'm a software engineer. I'm so enthusiastic to share beneficial knowledge which hopefully is going to add value to your knowledge and to your life. So let's get into the presentation by asking ourselves, what is the purpose of network architecture? What is the reason why you have such architecture from first place? It's providing a framework for organizing and managing the network from the logical layer such as communication, protocols, stuff like this, or from the physical layer such as hardware and all of its contents, as well as it's providing efficiency and effectiveness using of network resources such as files, regardless of what type of files you are using online. That takes us to, again, what is network architecture? It is a way of structuring our physical and logical layers, including hardware, software, to serve the connectivity needs of a client devices. You are, as a client, you communicate with the internet. For that reason, we have this architecture to frame this connection and to help you for speeding up your connectivity, so to serve you as a client. Second one, it's also a design of computer network, include hardware, software, or including some logical operation which are running on the internet, include some rules of communication and data transfer between networks, include some protocols such as different language of communication between the internet, include some media such files, HTML, JSON files, or etc. Also, it's network optimization, optimizing the hardware working, the router, the gateway, what we call it, or even some of the user devices to work effectively with the network. So architecturing of the network is really so important and so valuable for nowadays communication, which you are using it every single day. That takes us to network architecture types. We have two main types. First one is peer-to-peer, is when two different devices connecting to each other directly, privately or publicly, and sharing knowledge or sharing some information. They are linked directly between each other, peer-to-peer. Second one, have a client-server communication, is when you have a central service such as Google service, for example, or any social media platform, and you are, as a client, getting access to this server to retrieve some information or to send information. After types, we have key components we're using in a network architecture. The key components such as the physical and the logical component. Physical components such as hardwares, wires between networks, servers, devices, or any physical device which are using it inside the internet. Logical such as the protocols used on the internet for data transfer, some rules using it, some media, some logical things which we can deal with it. Second one also is the network device, which is structured that way to serve you as a client, and these network devices and services are communicating between each other to give you the most effective result of what you are looking for. After the component, we have models to how this architecture is communicating with each other and how exactly the network architecture already architected and contains of. We have the first one, and the main one is called OSI Model, Open System Interconnection Models. These models, it have been developed in 1970s. In the late 1970s, it was so important because the emergence of diverse computer networking methods, the lack of communication between networks before that time, we needed some kind of architecture to facilitate our communication between different applications on a different scale, because we have a lot of applications, we need to communicate in different directions, etc. That model consists of 7 layers, starting by the physical layers. Physical layers are any physical devices or things we are using for the communication. So the starting point, physical layers is a wire, optic wire, hardware, hard drives, devices, anything physically you are using for the communication between internet. Then we have data link layer. Data link layer is when you connect two computers or several computers on the same physical network. They are communicating between each other. You can know about it if you heard about the data center. Data center is a physical closed network in the same area. All these networks communicating on the level of data link layer. Then we have the network layer. Network layer is when you go globally. When you use your device now to communicate with something central or to communicate with something outside of your area. So that's global network layer. And then, because of this global network layer, we have the fourth layer. It is transport layer. Transport layer is responsible for the reliable communication and security between all the connection over this global. You need to protect the data which moved around. So that's the responsibility of the transport layer. After the transport layer, we have the session layer. Session layer is controlling the user existing in some kind of system. The most observable system is banking system. If you log in into your bank, then you start use the application for a while, you're still active. So by this way, you still into the running service. But after a while of inactivity, if you don't do anything, you will find out that the system logged you out. This is the session layer because already you don't do anything. So there is no reason for keeping you inside the system, giving you resources. So please go out, and after that you can come back because there is sensitive information especially. So session layer controlling the existence of a user inside the system. After session, we have a presentation layer. Over presentation layer, we can find out all the presentation stuff which we can see them live, like images, videos, listening to audios, or any kind of presentation that you can see as a user. Even the RESTful is something we use especially for object communication between different systems. From the presentation layer, we are moving to the application layer, which you are using it now. When you watch this video, you watch it over the presentation and the application layer. But under the hood, the rest of the layers already working in cooperation to serve you and to give you the perfect optimization and fast response. OSI is one of the models. We have another one which we call it TCP/IP. This is another communication using the same exact architecture but in different approach because it's content of 4 layers, not 7 layers this time. Combines the application, presentation, and session layers into a single application layers, as well as combining the data link and the physical layers into a single network access layer. I hope that the overview of network architecture, and I hope I was able to add some beneficial knowledge and information for you, whether you are working in already IT or you are just normal user and you are interested to know more about what is the network architecture and how is everything working under the hood, and you are so enthusiastic to know what is going on all over the world. If you really like what I have been done and if you think this information are really useful, so I hope that you can share it with others. If you have any question, if you have any comment, please leave it in the comment section below. I will be more than happy to answer your question, to clarify anything you would like to ask for. It was my pleasure to share with you my experience and my knowledge. See you next time. Peace be upon you and thank you for your time.